Is it true that you once hit a six that hit the roof of the church?
Did I ever hit onto the church roof? The answer is no, although I can dispel a myth and tell you how this story or this folklore came about. In about my second season at Whitchurch Heath, which would have been in the early 90s, we were playing an away game up at Nantgarrow against British Airways. Now the pitch that they had then is now some huge great aircraft terminal or something, but it was quite a popular evening midweek one, and I was playing in this game and I picked one up off my legs and deposited it onto the dual carriageway running alongside. Those of you who know the area will know that dual carriageway that goes up the hill from the A470 up towards Caerphilly past Nantgarrow. Over a beer after the game, I think I must have commented that I thought that if we'd been playing at Whitchurch, then it would have probably hit the church. I don't think I ever claimed that it hit the church roof.
Talk us through some of your favourite Whitchurch Heath games.
Loads of games that were great fun at Whitchurch. I think a lot of them go back to the days just after the merger of the league with the Morgannwg League, and we were going up the valleys and playing at places we never ever played before. I can remember one occasion turning up for a game and there was the smouldering remains of a burnt out sofa sitting at short mid wicket. I can also remember a game against Llantwit Fadra Thirds when Mel Amos and I put on 77 in 3.5 overs at the end of the innings, and I would like to thank Mel for his contribution of 1 to that partnership. But I think probably the most amusing was the first time I think that Mick Patel played for the club. Now, we'd asked Yogi, tell us a bit about Mick. Oh, he's good, hit the ball a long way, good batsman. So we took him. In those days you just took whoever players you could get. You didn't have to turn up for nets or anything like that to get us a place in one of the teams. And we went up and we played against a team called Willowtown, which were up from Coombe in the shade of the old garden city. And they put on just over 200, and we were batting. I'd had a reasonably good innings with Jerry Barlow, and Mick came into bat at about number 6, based on the reputation that Yogi had given him as being good. And I can remember seeing him face his first 3 or 4 balls and thinking, oh my God, this guy can hardly hold a bat. He looks so awkward trying to play defensive shots. And at this point, I think their captain thought that they got an opening. If a guy that's playing defensively like this is coming in at about number 6, we'll rattle them through. So he brought his quickie back on from the one end. And this guy ran up to bowl, and Mick just picked him up and deposited him 4-6 into the river. So this got him a bit irate. So next ball, 4 behind square leg. Next ball, bush, another 6 into the river. At which point the quickie's getting just a little bit peed off with all of this. And everyone is faffing around trying to get the ball with sticks. He just loses his cool and goes wading into the river, grabs the ball, goes back to the end of his run up and comes charging into bowl to Mick. And of course he's got boots full of water, so as he's running into bowl, only to see the ball disappear again. And that game, I think, was my first that I can recollect playing for Whitchurch where we'd actually chased down a score of 200 or more. Normally, if it was more than 120, 140, we used to fail.
How did you initially get involved with the club?
I first got involved with Whitchurch basically through word of mouth, because I had recently moved down from Scotland. I think the first season I had down here via the husband of a friend, I had a not particularly enjoyable season at St Fagans. And during the closed season, someone had suggested I come along to Whitchurch, so I just turned up at Nets one Monday and went from there.
What's the funniest thing you've seen on a cricket field?
Funniest thing on a cricket field? I would say, going back to one of my earlier answers, that quick bowler coming in, squelching away with boots full of water and just seeing the ball go further and further the faster he tried to bowl.
You captained the second 11 back in 2010 and ran it as more almost like a development sort of side. What did you enjoy about that season?
Yeah, it was my intention at the beginning of that season to take a couple of senior pros, but otherwise to use players in that team, which was the seconds. But to try to we decided to identify youngsters that we felt were future first team potential and give them the opportunity to play men's cricket at a reasonable level. If they were batsmen, they got to bat. If they were bowlers, they got to bowl. And the satisfying thing was seeing the development of the players as the season went on. Games that were tight at the beginning of the season, we were losing because of inexperience. We were winning because of the experience gained towards the end of the season. It was great to see the development of some of the youngsters. I think particularly the guys like Vim Patel, of Hassan Akhtar, even Dave Reynolds, Rhys Penry-Williams, really sort of becoming cricketers that were more than just under 15, big fish in a small pond.
What were the major frustrations or challenges of captaincy at club level?
The main frustration of captaincy at club level is picking players and then getting them to turn up. When you are not the top of the tree, i.e. the first team skipper, on a Saturday morning, if the first team gets a call off, you lose a player and you're scrambling around trying to find players to fill spots at the end. It was always a great frustration when somebody would ring up on a Friday night or a Saturday morning, having been contacted on the Monday after selection and confirmed availability, when they would ring up and say they'd forgotten they were going to a party or a concert or something, and therefore would be letting you down at short notice. I don't think that's any different from any other club, but it was a major frustration.